Welcome to One Word a Day. I'm Sophie, your pilot into the universe of Chinese. We are going to continue our journey in discovering one new Chinese expression a day. Okay, I'm a little bit slow today. But yesterday we talked about 四大美人, which is historically throughout the Chinese history recognized as the top 4 beauties. And when I read more into why they are considered the top 4, it's obvious to me it's not about their beauty, but their impact, because they are change of the fortune of a nation kind of a character, either by disrupting men from their power position, like they lost their vision, lost their leadership because of her influence, or single-handedly make a peaceful era occur between otherwise 2 conflicting nations, kind of a close to border of this one figure. So 3 are kind of destructive, but 1 is constructive of preserving generational peaceful time by being married off to its enemy country, so that she was able to influence both sides, I guess. Kind of she becomes the power negotiator there. So I regard her as a diplomat. The other ones are more like spies, and the last one is more kind of like an entertainer, distractor role. Okay, so that's 四大美人, and they cannot be called 美女 because they're not unmarried girls. They're all of them can have their effect on men because they're no longer unmarried. Okay. Today we have 四 continued, but we have its double size, 八. And you can see, right? 八. Now, I mean, I put them on the same phrase. I just discovered this. I just instantly discovered this. You see, it's almost looking the same, right? So number 8 is like number 4 without its external frame. It's like number 4 freed version of it. But I don't know if language creators want to create number 4 and 8, if these 2, because it happened to be 8 is double of the 4. I'm not sure if removing of the frame of the external box only left with the internal 2 factors there. That seems like a diminishing, right? Reducing, like a downsizing, but here it's the opposite. It's double sizing by removing the confinement. Okay, some thought to chew on. Okay, anyways, number 4 comes from these 4 vertical lines, but they're connected, therefore they're kind of boxed up. But number 8, only these 2 lines. And number 8 is kind of like always have this in, when they are used in another character, oftentimes there's 2 strokes over there, side by side, kind of a mirror image, but they are kind of opposing side. And also this curve direction is not like this, right? But they are kind of exactly opposing. So they kind of are facing different ways. So that visually create kind of a separation. If we have a vertical line in between these 2, that will be the character of small. That means something cut in half. If we have a knife sign that looks kind of like this, only this portion. If we have a knife sign of that, that means split, separate. The action of split into 2. But just by itself, like it's separated into 2. I mean, by one thing, number 8 is divisible by 2, right? In a way, it's right mathematically, but why number 8 is so simplified compared with other characters? Like we have 1, 2, 3, that's kind of visual. 4 is like that. 5 is kind of interesting number of kind of fixing the middle point between heaven and the sky. And then number 6, did we talk about number 6? Number 6, I'm a little bit blurry. And number 7 is cutting, have an effect of cutting something into 7 pieces, something related to knife. And number 9 has a horizontal line over here to mean, okay, this is number 8 plus 1. And then number 10 is this roping indicator, right? So I don't know why number 8 is such a simple rendering and why this opposing directions and forces is related to it. I have been suspecting maybe it's because of the ancient philosophy of, kind of imagine the yin and yang, that circle thing. It's forever, right? Continuation, forever. And one side of the color, black, changed to white, like smoothly changed to white. And that smooth is almost like an S curve, right? And then this 8 could be a point when it could go both directions. It can, but it's in a way, it's peaked. So it's kind of on the peak, and then either can go this way or that way. I don't know. It probably related to a construct of how the world works, the ancient modeling, how the world works with this number 8 happen to be in that position, that things are going to be separated. So either going uphill or downhill. And this is a separation point. Okay, up for interpretation, but it's good to see the visual connection between number 4 and 8. 8 is a freed version of 4. Okay, 面 and 方. 面 means size, kind of starting from the face here, because the image here is about human face. We have this nose bridge. Here is the nose bridge and 2 nostrils underneath. Okay, we have came across this multiple times. Just like the eyes. The eyes are side by side, right? Horizontally. But in Chinese, to save space, a lot of times these two are vertically stacked. So the eyes, the character of eyes are stacked up vertically of the 2 horizontal lines. Same to the nostrils, they are stacked up to save space. So here we use the center of the face, which is nose bridge and the nostrils, like this portion, as the representation of face, just one agent of the face, or one feature of the face to represent the whole face. And so here, the circle here means, okay, everything included on that space. On that space, actually, it's a sphere, right? It's a 3D thing, but we are modeling it onto this 2D world. And now another circle around, kind of going like this is to intentionally to show you this is a continuation of a line. It's not like a separate strokes that we normally spell out Chinese, but this is a continuation of the line looking like that. And that to show it's the edge of the face that we're talking about. We're not talking about the content or the shape of the face. We're talking about the very edge, the outside, the surface of the face. So the surface eventually becomes abstracted into side. So which side? Kind of the face, right? I mean, surface and face in English, they're connected too, right? So this face and the side, kind of like a surface, are connected as well. So that becomes sides, 4 sides. If you divide the world into 4 sides, that's north, south, east, and west. That's it. But then Chinese cut it further into 8 pieces, have this diagonal lines in there. This 八方, 方, okay. 方now I translate as direction because in contemporary Chinese, a lot of times we say 方向. We pair it with 向 is the direction. It's specifically about orientation or navigation. So 方向 paired together means direction, how to get to places. And this fang came from this boat combining. This is a little bit abstract because we didn't see that era of how boat combining was even created into a character. But okay, if you know, China has one of the longest canals, inland canals. It connects the northern part of China to the south part of China. I would imagine it's a gigantic civil engineer project that's sponsored by the government, right? By the emperor himself, because the emperor wants to travel faster to the southern China to have fun over there. Okay, you can imagine what kind of fun for emperor. that northern China cannot provide, but southern China can. And so because of his own entertainment purpose, that is a driving factor enough for him to fund this project. But the people of the southern North China trade benefit from that, because China have this horizontal river that connects west to the east. So we have goods can flow on the river this way. And there are two big rivers like that. East and west connection, okay, but north and south. So it's a huge project of this canal thing. So I wonder if, because the trade, inland trade through man-made canal was at least a big business or impact with people's lives. So how boat navigate on that canal, right? Because like traffic, in today's traffic, we at least have two directions to go, right? And I can imagine back then, the trade have to, the canal has to be at least wide enough for two boats to go side by side, have to be at least that wide so that the trade can be two directional. Is that right? Unless they devise some kind of a boat parking garage, when the other side boat comes in, the boat park on somewhere else for one boat. I don't know. I can only imagine such traffic direction. So this depicts such boat parallel going moment when the head of the boat kind of combined together or something. I mean, we can only imagine what happened. But in any case, that boat parallel traffic going eventually becomes a sense of direction. Because I can imagine in a tight traffic man-made canal, two boats safely traveling side by side, either the same direction, one passing the other boat, or opposite direction, one passing, I mean, they're going in different ways, have a good sense of direction where you're going is super important. Boat crashing can be way more costly than car crash, okay? So 四面八方, eventually this 面, four sides, and 八方 means direction, and 八 is a finer distinction, right? So we have now 8 directions, kind of 8 pizza cut to cover. 四面八方, simply in Chinese, we would use this phrase often to mean people from everywhere, people from every considerable or sense of directions, because we cannot really, as humans, we cannot really grasp by our physical sense of, I guess, more than 8 directions, right? Can we go finer in our sense of directions? Because as a circle, there are 360 degrees, but our senses, like at least me, I'm not good at sensing 10 degrees to the north or something like that, right? So we at least can tell 8 directions, which when we add this 2, like northeast, right, northwest, southeast, southwest, so at least we can have, besides the 4 general directions, we can have at least have the middle line of it. But the finer one, like between the middle line, oh, that becomes harder. So 四面八方, at least, that's a human sensible direction, eventually to mean every direction, and then it means traffic from everywhere, or people from everywhere, or information from everywhere. So there is super strong sense of connectivity because of the 四面八方. Is talking about you, the language user, from your center point of view, from you, then you start to see the world in this 8 directions. And I'm using this intricate human constructed highway, freeway intersections to show you the sense of this interconnectedness of world or roads from everywhere, from at least distinguishable 8 directions. All right, cash into the concept of thinking about one word a day with Sophie. See you later today.